Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing?
Hey, hey, hey.
So glad to be a part of this show once again. I'm with my lovely bride. This is
Carlene, I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix my hair, guys. I'm struggling.
all right. So we're gonna just just wait until some more people come, and then we're looking
We're
forward.
looking there, right?
Oh yeah, we are looking at the actual camera.
Yeah. Hope you guys had a really good Sabbath, or having a really good Sabbath. Um, we didn't do much today, did we?
No, well, I preached today.
Oh yeah, that's right. He preached, and as he's preaching, I washed my hair today, so that's why my hair looks like this. So I washed my hair, and while he's preaching, I am walking into the room and going and getting the stuff that going and getting the things that I need to wash my hair. And I just thought it was so funny. Like, this is our new reality, that he's preaching, and I am basically walking around the house in pajamas and washing hair and doing whatever. I'm sure people probably wonder if I necessarily sit and watch when he's preaching. Not necessarily. Sometimes I just decide to not look at anything, any service, or sometimes I do watch. I do tune in.
But she can hear me preaching nevertheless because I'm super loud. Got to get the word out. You know what I'm saying? Just making it real. So people, let us know if you can hear us. Please comment. We see the comments coming in. Happy Sabbath.
Hey,
What's up, Ray? What's up, Othniel? Right? Stevens, what's good? So can you hear our audio? Are we moving well? It's because we're trying out a new camera today, and we just want to make sure that we are good. So just hit the comments. Remember, like and share. I'm asking everybody that's watching right now, to the 22 people right now, it will cost you nothing to hit the share button. Like, literally nothing will come out of your bank account if you hit the share button. Like, you not lose your soul salvation. So please just hit the share, hit the like. We appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, please do the same thing as well.
Awesome. Thank you. We see that. Hey, Latoya. Hey, Carrie. Okay, good. Thank you, girl.
All right, all right. They can hear us.
Hey, Rochelle.
Thumbs up.
Hey, April.
April. I'm going to do a special freestyle for you.
Okay. For who?
For all 23 people that are watching us right now.
All right, cool.
Holla.
All right, so let's get started. So these I guess episodes that we've been doing, we've been talking about women in the Bible, and we've been talking specifically about how their stories were written. Some of them were not, their stories were not necessarily written probably the way that they would have written it themselves, or certain parts were left out and it just seemed more or less like they were silenced, that their voices were silenced. And so
don't worry, I got the horns.
Hey,
we're supposed to always start the show with the horns, Carlene. The people want the horns, so okay. Let me give it to them.
All right, the horns are, it's official. Hey, Sonia, it's official. The show has begun. And so we talked we went through a series of stories with women in there. And the more I digested, the more I thought about these women and how their stories were, what they were. I felt the need, we felt the need, that it's important for this platform, as we have this platform, to tell our stories. So every now and again, you will hear our stories. And I know that we don't necessarily have a name for these episodes.
I called it marriage and mental health.
No. For this specific episode, that's what you called it. But I'm just saying, in general, what is this called that you and I do every Sabbath?
It's called Carlene plus Jaime.
Okay.
Do you like the name? How about the people give us a name?
Okay, we can do that as well, right, if we wanted to. But I think we've been super.
If we wanted to.
yeah, if they want to.
All right.
I think we have, from the beginning, have been completely honest and open in ways that I never imagined I would be open and honest on this platform. But it has proven to be helpful to myself, but also to other people. And so let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
So you guys know that I don't even know where to start. Where did it start?
Start with your story.
Okay, so I'll start with my story. So, no, let's first start at what statistics says in terms of, okay, Rochelle, kicking it with the callous eyes. I like that.
Yeah, KK, but don't put on the third K because we're not feeling that.
Okay.
Okay.
See, I'm spitting too.
I see
I'm
you.
not. Okay, here we go. So let's first talk about mental health. Let's talk about mental health, the statistics that are out there with regards to women and mental health. So it is said that, sorry, I got notes, guys.
She came prepared.
I came prepared. So it is said that mental health issues are happening at higher rates than most other illnesses, including cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. This is just for women. A lot of times when we think about mental health with Black women, we often, at least for me, but I'm not sure where this information is coming from. I should be able to cite it, but I'm not, unfortunately. But I think it's a John Hopkins person basically writing this. And basically she's saying that women in Black communities do not seek help. If you are crazy or weak, you should seek help. Well, actually, it's saying that Black women, oftentimes, if they seek help, they're looked on as they're crazy or they're weak. So that's sometimes one of the reasons why a lot of African American women don't seek help, because they don't want to be seen as crazy or weak. A lot of times, Black women are looked on as strong and stoic, right? Almost, we can't be broken. Maybe we were broken in the past and we don't like the way that brokenness feels. So in order for me to never feel that again, I'm going to try my best to be stoic and to be strong. And so it was, the article went on to say that mental health, y'all, especially in the Black community, is rising, especially in these times with this pandemic, and things have changed in terms of our norm. And so it was saying that if you're sleeping more or less than usual, increased or decreased appetite, feeling worthless, hopeless or empty, feeling disinterested and unable to enjoy things that usually bring pleasure, mood swings, feeling out of control, and difficulty concentrating. If you're feeling all these things, you should definitely contact your medical provider, gynecologist, or someone. Reach out, look to see if there's a mental health provider that is out there, so that you can get the help that you need. And so my story, even before coming or moving to Texas, I've always been a worrier. I've been a worrywart. Everyone that knows me knows that I worry about everything. If there's a particular something, it's almost like I over process. Like I process over and over and over and over and over. And it's kind of like it's like an obsession, right? Where I obsess over this one thing. Maybe the average person will look at it and say, okay, that's blue. All right, let's go with it. But me, I'm going to say, is it really blue? Like, who told you it was blue? No, maybe it's not blue. Maybe it's green, but maybe it's blue. So that's me. That's what happens in my brain. And so when I moved to Texas, that was a really big change for me, moving away from family and friends and my security, basically my security blanket. And so I remember someone telling me that you should seek you should seek a mental health professional if you have experienced loss, if there has been like a serious change in your life, divorce, those big things that may happen, that you should seek mental health, seek a mental health provider. So I felt like moving away from all things normal, all things comfortable, um, would be a reason for me to go and seek this provider, mental health provider. However, prior to that, when we first came here, not a lot of people know this, but when we first came here, I was probably in the emergency room. Would you say like
Yeah, quite often.
quite often?
You know, like at least like what, once a month. If it was extreme, twice a month. We would go into the to the emergency room or seeing a doctor.
Correct. So I would feel chest pains. I would feel as though I've always felt as though I was having a heart attack. Right? That's like the worst thing. Like I felt like I am about to have a heart attack. So I would have chest pains, and so of course, if you feel chest pains, I'm having a heart attack. So go to the emergency room or contact my doctor, and my doctor would do all these tests, and guess what, they would always come back normal, and I'm just like, nah, something is wrong here, like this is not working out. So i I think what really brought me to the reality of me needing or seeking help was um, I had a panic attack. And I remember sitting on the couch, and um, I'm sitting on the couch and my chest starts to hurt me. And while my chest is hurting me, I'm sweating. It's like cold sweats. I'm on my phone reading. I'm Googling what are the symptoms of a heart attack, right? The, the worst thing I can do, I'm doing, right? So I'm on the phone Googling what does a heart attack look like or feel like. So as I'm doing that, I'm feeling what exactly they're saying. So I'm just like, Jamie, I'm having a panic. I'm not a panic. I was like, I'm having a heart attack. And so he's calling the ambulance. We're calling my friend to say, you need to come over because I'm about to take Carlene to the hospital. So we need someone to watch the girls. So the EMT arrived. They take my blood pressure. They take all my vitals. And they're like, your blood pressure is slightly elevated, but
It's normal. It's
it's
not
normal.
like, nothing we have to take you to the hospital.
Correct. And so maybe about 2 minutes later, they take it again and they're just like, yeah, you're fine. And I'm just like, I'm not having a heart attack. Like, what's happening? Like what is it? They felt so real. It felt so real. And I was just like, I know what I'm feeling. And so at that point, that's when I was just like, I have to do something about this. Of course, a lot of things were happening around transitioning from being able to work in New York. I was working, I was independent, and I'm not saying that I didn't have independence, but I felt as though I was no longer I was no longer surviving in my norm. I'm staying at home with the girls. He's at church trying to, transition and get acclimated. And I'm at home with two little people. I don't know anyone. There's only one car, so I can't drive anywhere. I'm in the house. Listen, y'all, I definitely knew that I was depressed. And I definitely knew that I was in a very, very, very dark place. And I knew that I needed to go and fix whatever was happening in my brain, because I realized that it was taking a toll on us, on him. he was a lot more worried about me and the girls as well. I could see that how I was responding to them, whatnot. So finally, I go and seek a mental health provider. Thank God, she was recommended by one of my friends, and I was able to go to her. And I know I've done about 2 videos about talking about this mental health issues, and but this is just giving you a little bit more of a background or a backdrop to why it was that I sought the um, why I sought out help. I think it was for me. Like I needed, and I needed to do this for myself and for my children and husband, because I realized that I was about to be taken out, and it was scary for me. And so when I finally went to her, I had some phenomenal sessions. She did an amazing, like she just was amazing. Still is. She is still amazing. But it's very interesting, even in me going to seek help, I was ashamed. I felt like, who? I am married to a pastor. Does this mean that I don't have enough faith? Does this mean that I'm crazy? Does this mean that I'm weak? And I remember being buried with in those thoughts. And my medical doctor, again, I was still having tests done because I really thought that I had a bad heart. And because of these chest pains, especially when I felt like I was super stressed. And so my medical doctor, I was so ashamed. I didn't even want to tell him that I was seeking a therapist, or I was talking to a therapist. That's how much of a stigma mental health had on me. Like, what? Go? No, I can't let anyone know. Like, this is something that I keep within myself, and for Jamie, that's it. Nobody else. No one else needs to know this. And so I remember one day going in, and he told me all my tests came back negative. And I broke down at that time and told him, I was like, all right, doctor, this is the deal. I am actually seeking a therapist. And he had an aha moment. He was like, this makes so much sense, Carlene. Like, I understand now why you have been experiencing what you've been experiencing. And I'm happy that you have now sought help. And so my therapist and my medical physician doctor, they work hand in hand in my treatment, like in making me the best or healthy, right? Not only just physically, but also mentally. And so, what was I going to say? And so, at the beginning of our sessions, my therapist was like, my counselor was just like, I think you might need to consider medication. What? No, she did not just tell me I need medication. Like, in our community, in our church, like, the fact that I'm coming to you, that's one thing. But it's another thing for you're sitting over here telling me that I need medication. Nah, I'm good. I literally told her that. I was like, no, I'm okay. I'm good. I don't need that. I think the tools that you have given me, or that you're giving me, they're working. I have my breathing exercises. I have all it is that I need whenever I feel stressed, or I feel like it's, like I'm processing too much. I was like, I'm good. And so I think about 2 years passed, guys. 2 years passed by. And basically, the conversation came up again. And she's like, I really think that you need to consider medication. And asked Jamie, like, when I got off the phone with her, I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. Why? Because I felt I'm weak. I'm crazy. I'm no longer seen as this strong black woman if I take medication that's going to give me balance. Give me a sense of balance. Um, no, I can't do that. Ask him. Like, do you remember what I was saying?
With when she recommended medication,
Yes.
you were just like, I don't need no medication. I'm fine. I'm all right. I'm not crazy, and I'm afraid of what the medication might do to me,
Mm-hmm.
or it might change me, and all of the negative uh, things that we hear about medication. So you weren't thinking about any of like the positive aspects of medication, just
Right.
all of the negative ones, the negative side effects, not the good side effects.
Yeah. And so I I gave her, like, I was like, nope, I'm good. I was like, I can pray it away. I can fast it away. I can, go to God in prayer. Because when you think about anxiety and being anxious, like, this is not something new to God. God says in his word, don't be anxious for anything. So it's very evident that being anxious is something natural that we all feel every now and again. So he just basically, God says, don't worry, don't be anxious for nothing. And so I think for a week, like, I was praying, I was like on it, like, God, I know you can take this thing away, like me being anxious. I know you can do wonders, God. And let me tell you, came back the next week, I was like, still struggling in terms of finding that balance. And so I remember telling Jamie, no, I remember her saying, she's like, what is it that you're afraid of? And I basically said, the stigma. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of people seeing me as weak. Because as I told you, um, I'm coming from a single parent home where my mom like did the daggone thing, and I just have two kids.
And which is interesting, right? That you said you were afraid of people as seeing you weak.
Mm-hmm.
People would not have seen your medication unless you revealed it to them. So, like, the only people that could have viewed you as weak would have been me, the girls, or your doctors, unless you said to the world, hey, I'm taking medication for anxiety or whatever it is. So
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing how the brain works in thinking or these assumptions, I guess. But I'm speaking for you, so I know you're gonna speak.
Mm-hmm.
But how we like pull other people into our circle that have no idea what's going on, but we just mentally think like, oh man, they're gonna look at me and they're gonna know I'm on medication, and that means they're gonna say that I'm weak.
That's true. I think anyone, even if it's you're sharing it with a friend or even a spouse, like, of course, no one is necessarily going to go and say, or I'm not going to go around with a bottle saying, yo, I'm about to pop my anxiety medication. I don't think that's the case.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, we go to a party like, wait a second, I'm
wait.
about to take some mental medication.
Right. Or you're in mid conversation. It's just like, hold on. That's not the case. Like, no one is going and like flaunting the fact that they are on medication for a mental disorder or whatever. I think it's just the thought of, knowing that I need something more than the average person to help me cope with life.
Yeah, and that goes back to the stereotype that black women have to be strong.
Correct.
That black women have to carry the weight of the world without any help. That they have to look a certain way, dress a certain way, act a certain way. Mm-hmm. And so anything that assists you in being that,
correct,
you automatically are labeled as weak, inadequate, and you can't handle something. But here's like this statistic. It says this from WebMD that panic disorders is fairly common. It's fairly common and affects about 6 million adults in the U.S. women are twice as likely as men to
Wow.
develop the condition, and its symptoms usually begin in early adulthood.
Wow.
So, like, for your panic attacks and for your anxiety, you had a traumatic experience. Just leaving New York to come to Texas without, we were the only support. We didn't know anybody out here, and all of our support is in New York City. Plus, you also came out here and you weren't working.
Correct.
You were just home with the girls.
Yeah.
And I was out, doing meetings and various things. And so that was different because in New York, you had a job, you had friends, you had outlets, and then you came here and you were just literally trapped behind a prison with no bars. Right?
Say that one more time.
No. Let the horn say it. Yeah, trapped behind a prison with no bars, right? And I think those had to, those were traumatic experiences.
Yeah,
that
it was
led to those panic attacks, not heart attacks, but panic attacks that felt like heart attacks.
Yeah, and you're so right. As Crystal just said, she said, I'm looking for it. She said the audience within our heads. Listen, oh man, as a Black woman, for me, for one of my, I don't know if it's a weakness or it's a strength, but for me, I often think for others. So instead of saying to Jamie, hey, I'm trying to think of an example. Instead of going to him and saying, yo, such and such, no, I'm going to think for him and I'm going to process it in my head by myself for him. Does that make sense? No, not at all, y'all. It's crazy and I probably shouldn't say the word crazy, but it's just interesting how the mind works. And I know how my brain works. And my brain is one where it's almost in conflict with itself. And I'm really learning those tools to help me to process better and to gain that balance that I need in order to function in a healthy way. So basically, and I appreciate what everyone is saying. I think a lot of times we feel like we are by ourselves. I felt like I was the only one in the world that was experiencing what I was experiencing. And I think a lot of times I don't know what word to use, but I feel like our difficulties or our issues, we hold on so much to it that we don't give the opportunity for to have a dialogue like this, not a dialogue, but have a transparent moment where you come to, I had to not neglect, but kind of defy my thoughts and saying, I'm not alone. There are other women out there, Black women just like me, that are experiencing the very same thing. And so once I'm able to get out of my head, I'm good. Because you can see I'm talking, I'm good. But it's getting to that point where it's just like, okay, how do I get out of my head? Like, what are people going to say? They're probably going to create this narrative. And at this point in time, I'm like, who cares? Like, go and run with it. Run with whatever it is. But I feel as though what I really want to accomplish is letting other women know you are not alone. There are other people experiencing what you have experienced or what you are experiencing right now. You are not alone. And that's something that I had to come to grips with in knowing I am not alone. And so going back to medication, right? Medication. So going back a little bit, my anxiety, this came about in our sessions recently. My anxiety came about as a result of a traumatic experience during childhood, right? Crazy. I never, ever connected those pieces. I always thought, maybe I'm not able to process the way that everybody processes. Jamie processes the way he processes. I wish I can process that way.
But let me say this, and it's not healthy the way I process. And for men that are listening to this, we don't talk and we suppress things, and it affects our health.
Mercy.
Not just mentally. So the way we process is not good because we just, we process like waffles. So we compartmentalize everything. When you put syrup on a waffle, it goes in like the various boxes. Some are empty, some are full. So we process like a waffle. And so we pretty much say, okay, this box is full, and what I'm going to do is move over to the empty box and just try to medicate our misery by doing other stuff. So even though I process differently, even though I think differently, is because, and I think Ray Marshall said it in the Caribbean context, we're just not taught as men to talk. And I think for women too, but it's just as men, we're just not taught to talk through our feelings. Because if we talk through our feelings and we express something that's hurting us, then like the same thing, we're weak, we're not strong enough, get over it, you got to go feed your family, and just deal with life. So I just want to put that in there. So I need to see a therapist as well, because I need to unload, especially being a pastor with the amount of stuff that is unloaded on us, and we don't have an outlet to unload that. So we carry around like, this heavy burden from funerals, from counseling, all this stuff. And so we just try to move on to the next day, but not taken away from you, please.
No. It's not being. I don't think it's taken away. I think it's actually adding to the discussion, to the reality of, in marriage, you have moments of the over processor, and then you have the one that doesn't process as much, but he suppresses it so much that it's almost like a ticking bomb. It's almost like the wrong thing is going to just set him off.
Yeah, and truthfully, we don't know how to talk. Like, we really don't. We know how to talk about sports. We know how to talk about news. We know how to talk about music and all that stuff, but we really don't know how to talk about ourselves and our mental health.
Exactly. And I think it needs to stop, because I know we entitled this mental health in marriage. So in order to have a healthy marriage, it's important for you to recognize what he just said in terms of, as a man, like, I don't talk. Like, this is something that I don't even know how to do. Right. And I know sometimes as women, it's almost like, you need to talk to me.
Right.
I want you to talk to me. Why are you not talking to me? You're quiet. And they're over there like,
because we don't know what to say. And so, like, even with like your situation with me being around, I didn't know what to say. I knew that
this is good.
I knew that what you were going through was beyond me.
Say that again. Woo!
Oh, wait, the horns. They want the horns.
Okay. Horns. Yes, say that again.
No, I'm just saying that I felt helpless because I knew that I couldn't help you. Like, this was reoccurring, and even I gave you advice, I could not penetrate what was happening inside your brain. Like, I couldn't get there, and so I was helpless, and I didn't know what to do, but to just kind of stand back and support you in any and every way, and not to like say things like, "Yo, you crazy, you bugging, you tripping." Like, you wilding right now. I ain't done that happening, because I could see that it was real. It wasn't like a joke or something. So, so I'm mentally like handcuffed, because as a male, my job, I feel, is to protect my wife and to fix everything. And I just realized I could not fix you. Like, I could not fix this. This was beyond me, and and it needed more than just prayer. So prayer was there, but it was like it needed more than prayer. So I was all for you going and see a therapist. I was like, but I was, and I wasn't too pushy about making you go see a therapist either. Like, so, yo, you need to go see a therapist. But when you brought it up, I was like, look, I support you. I support whatever way you want to deal with this. I just don't want to get in the way, but I want to be a part of the way, if that makes any sense. So, that was challenging for those months, seeing you like that, because I know that. And then, another part of me, I was blaming myself for her anxiety, because it's my job, right? So it's like the job that I do, being a pastor, requires me to move sometimes. And I was like, man, I just basically took this woman from her foundation from her base, brought her out here because of my job. And here we go again with the theme that we've been talking about, how women always support men and put themselves on their back.
Woo!
And like, my career is budgeting, and I'm the pastor, the associate pastor of City Temple, flagship church. I become the pastor of the flagship church, and my wife is hurting. And so like all of these things are going through my head where I'm like, yo, I'm the reason why she is like this right now. So it was a tumultuous time. Like, it was real crazy.
It was rough. I'm not gonna say it was hard. I think we both preached a sermon called, I don't even remember what it was called, but it was just a moment. At that moment is where I kind of came out of this dark space. I was in a very dark space, and I saw the light. I started seeing the light. And so the more I saw the light, the more I wanted to talk about my experience. But it was very hard for us because it was hard because I kind of started building resentfulness towards him. Like I started being resentful because it's almost like nothing changed for him, right? He was still working, still being a pastor, yes, he didn't necessarily have his friends around, but for the most part, he was still moving and shaking. And I was the one that had to, there was like a huge, it wasn't even a pause. It was more like a halt. Like,
yeah,
it came to like a screeching end, like,
yeah. And then I felt like I had to keep moving because if I got like this, like, down attitude or this, like, that it would have a ripple effect to affect you and to affect the girl. So I'm just like, okay, let me just keep on moving and doing it, acting like I'm normal, that everything is normal, because I got to be normal for Carlene. I got to be normal for the girls, and just making sure that I'm trying the best I can to hold everything together. And then also, I got to be normal for church people because I don't want church people in our business.
Right.
I don't want church people to look at it because, I feel like there's church people that don't want to see our marriage work.
Right.
And so like there's church people that want to see like, oh yeah, they having problems, they having issues. So, I'm trying to hold everything together in the midst of all of what's happening.
Correct. And yeah, so we went through a rough patch. I think the roughness wasn't like there weren't arguments, like we weren't arguing or fighting or things of that nature. It was just like this dark cloud, right, over our home because of what I was experiencing. And I think me not that was his part. That's what he was feeling. But for me, I was feeling like I don't necessarily want to tell him everything or talk to him every time I have a chest pain because I don't want to burden him, right? He's transitioning. He has a lot on his plate. And so in marriage, I mean, real talk, you have those moments where you don't want to burden your spouse with something, whatever, because you just don't. And I know I did that for a long time where I was just like, I'm not going to burden him with nothing because anything on his plate, he's about to. But I think it's just so important. We realized that he assured me, let's first start there. He assured me that my burden is his burden. And that made me feel like, okay, I'm not in this by myself. And once we got past that him assuring me of that, I started talking to him a little bit more about it, about what I was feeling. And he has always been supportive, like super supportive. And I'm not just saying that because y'all know I'm real. Like, I'm not going to fake it. Right. If he wasn't, I'll be like, yo, he was a little bit, he was a little bit supportive and he was, no, but for real talk, he was super supportive.
And I think the other reason why you didn't like put too much on me is because of the way how I process things.
Yeah.
And when I get into a dark place, I just want to quit.
Yeah.
And just walk away and just like, I go like, my dark place is pitch black. It's like the abyss, right? And so I think what's crazy is, right, it's like the burden on black women, or the burden, I'll just speak for you, not for all black women, is even while you're suffering, you have to be strong for your family and your spouse.
Yep.
right? So you have to suffer, as someone said, in silence. You have to suffer in pain, right?
Yeah.
Because you still have to be superwoman.
Yeah.
Like that's the stereotype. And so like, and I think what we need to acknowledge too is that anxiety, I think in black women doesn't look the same for other women as well. For, that I think that it manifests itself in different ways because I don't feel like white women have the whole, the stereotypes that are pronounced on African American women. Be strong, don't get angry, uh, make sure your kids are always well behaved when they're in public. Make sure their hair is combed. Make sure their clothes are clean. Mm-hmm. Make sure you take care of your spouse. All that other stuff. Like I don't think they have to live with all those burdens. They probably do. I'm not. I don't know. But like you had to suffer in pain and still hold down your responsibilities or your duties, to this marriage, to this family.
That's so true. That's so true. I'm sure right now, for whether it's our church members that are watching, whether it's people that are around us or that we consider friends or whatnot, I'm sure that some of you are like, yo, that's what they were experiencing. I'm 100% sure. Why? Because, I mean, we didn't wear it at all. Because you don't wear that stuff on the outside. What? Like, no, you kind of bear it silently, in hopes that it'll get better, in hopes that things will change. But I guarantee that no one knew this reality. This was our reality. I think a select few know now, prior to this broadcast, but I think that's one of the hardest things to suffer while being strong, suffer wearing the cape, because I was still managing our house, still doing, the girls never wanted for anything. I was still trying to be very present, even though I wasn't. And that's something else that I struggle with, in that how I process. I'm not necessarily present. I'm thinking about 50 million things while I'm talking to you. Like even now as I'm talking, my brain is like, I'm thinking about other things. And one of the things that I'm working with my therapist is learning how to be present. But I guess if we were to, if the girls in the future, the girls grows up, I'm sure they'll never say, yo, mommy, I remember those days when because I really tried to push through those feelings, push through those thoughts, push through the pain, what I was feeling physically, all in the name of trying to I don't know, protect this image of I'm strong. I'm not weak. Even if I'm suffering, I can still show you strength. And as you were saying, I'm sure white people feel this as well, feel the stigma end of it maybe. But maybe they don't, because real talk, most of the time, they're just like, my therapist,
right?
My therapist this, my therapist that. And for us, we're just like, we don't say nothing about no therapist around here, because you crazy if that's what you're doing.
Therapy in the black community is you're crazy, and in the Caribbean community, it's even worse. Pray about it, drink some tea, get over it. Like, and that's true. I think that because we have to like, this is what makes it hard being black in America, right? Mm-hmm. We have to be so perfect all the time. Like there is no room for mistakes. There's no room, like you take for example Barack and Michelle Obama. There was no space for them to make any mistake, to fall out. Even if you're not the president of the United States, even when you're at school, even when you're you're shopping or whatever, you always have to look and be a certain way in order to look like you got it all together. And it's killing us.
Yep, it sure is. It really is. It's so funny. Before us coming on here, I was like, maybe I should sit here and untwist my braid out. I mean, unbraid my braids, like looking crazy, right? Let me look crazy for a moment to show we all look crazy every now and again. I shouldn't say crazy because crazy now is negative, but we all look not polished. Like we don't all wake up looking like this. I didn't wake up looking like this. You know what I mean? But it's almost like this not desire, but the society says we have to, we need to live up to this standard. And I know that it's killing it almost killed me, mentally it almost killed me. But really realizing and coming to the place where I come to the place where I know that I needed help. I know that I needed help. I needed to have that outlet to express myself and to also come to the reality of um, of who Carlene is. And ever since going to therapy, me sitting here and talking to you guys in this way is as a result of therapy. It's freeing. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like I'm free. That even if, as I said, someone goes and take what I said out of context, or they probably like, yo, Carlene is crazy. Even if someone goes and says that, I don't care. I was going to say something. I was going to use some other words.
Black hair, don't care,
I was going to say, I really don't care.
I'm going to put that in my bars for
you do
later.
That.
I'm rapping today. Hold up, the people have been asking for it.
Oh, man. Thank you, Jamie, for that.
That's why I'm here.
So, I guess my plea, I think my plea is for the Black woman, whether you are single, married, a mother, not a mother, whoever you are, please, for the betterment of your family, but more so for you. Because as I always say, the better you are, the better your family is. Yeah. And that's one thing the therapist had to teach me. She's like, what greater gift that you give your girls than letting them know it's okay to be weak. It's okay to seek help. And before they used to drop me off at my sessions and they'll be like, Mommy, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to go talk to a doctor. We never said, oh, Mommy's going to see a therapist. A therapist is someone who, I never said that because I was still struggling very much with the stigma. But after my conversation with my therapist, I'm just like, Mommy's going to see her therapist. So now they know, they have that language. They know that if they are not 100% well, this is what I do. This is where I go. And, as I said, we're seeking for a therapist, a Black therapist, for them to go to do some just check-ins, just to make sure that everything is okay. Because I'm telling you, those childhood traumas, they come back and they bite you. Yeah. And I wish I had the tools. I wish I had the resources to be able to go to a therapist and talk through the traumas that happened in my childhood. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, I did it. But I have the responsibility of these two people, that if they have traumas that they will endure, that they have a safe space for them to go and share that with someone who's professional and who can really help them.
Yeah, I think it's important for us to let our families know and let ourselves know it is okay to talk. Mm-hmm. It is okay to speak. It is okay to express yourself. I think sometimes we think that it's not okay because fear of how other people may view us or how other people may feel. So we're always telling our daughters to raise their voice and to not suppress their feelings because they care more about how other people feel. Now, as they get older, as an adult, you learn how to manage that. Sometimes some things are better not said, but anything that's hurting you, I don't think that you should keep that silent. And you can't be good to others until you're good to yourself.
That's right.
So you can't love anybody else until you start loving yourself. And and that trauma, like we think it's like a car, right? It's like, that stuff that we leave in the rear view mirror, we're driving away from it. But if you ever look at your side view mirror, what does it say? It says objects in this mirror are closer than they appear. Mm-hmm. And so even though you think you may be driving away from it, those objects that you left back in your childhood, they are still with you in your rear view mirror. And you need somebody to talk to. You need to go to somebody who is non-judgmental. You need to go sit down on somebody's couch, somebody who you could cuss, somebody you can say whatever you want to, and they're not going to judge you. They're going to be like, and it stays in that room, because it is important to talk. And to my brothers out there, and I know I'm probably like the last person that should be saying this, because I'm still trying to find a therapist that I can feel comfortable with. We need to talk, real talk. We need to unload some stuff, because we got to be there for our wives. And even if we're not married, like, I think that's also important. That even if you're single, you should still talk to somebody. Mm-hmm. Brothers, even if you're single, you should still talk to somebody. I am the way I am because of how I was raised. And because of, pretty much I'm the youngest, and I'm about 8 years younger than my two older siblings. And I'm pretty much, I like to be by myself. I kind of grew up by myself in a sense, even though people were around. I just like to be quiet. And I am like a non-confrontational person.
Yep.
And
I'm that for him.
And it's crazy that I'm a pastor, because pastoring requires confrontation, especially in African American churches, which we could talk about some other time. But I'm a non-confrontational person, but I don't use my non-confrontational personality the right way. Mm-hmm. Where I think I'm non-confrontational, where I'm willing to let you, just do what you do, and then I'll walk the other way. Like, I'm the kind of person that's like, I'll tell you, don't cross the street, because there's a lot of cars coming. And if you're like, I want to cross the street, I'm going to cross the street, I'll be like, all right, fine, go ahead, cross the street. It's up to you. You on you, I'm going to go my other way. So, I need to learn how to manage my non-confrontational personality, so that it doesn't affect what happens here or what happens to me personally, because you can't be good to others until you're good to yourself.
Listen.
Bars.
That's bars right there.
Bring the horn, Sam.
That is a word. You can't be good to others if you are not good to yourself. You can't try to save others if you haven't necessarily felt that you've been saved by yourself. And I know it sounds weird. How do I save myself? By choosing you, by choosing whatever you need to do to make you well. I remember, and I think for me, I'm like, I see the difference, and I'm a testimony, guys. Listen, I'm a testimony of this. Before, as I said, I would never have conversations like this with people in a small group, or even on straight Facebook, ever. But I guess the older I'm becoming is the more I'm realizing that I'm doing myself a disservice by not being free to be me, right? And accepting me first for who I am. Loud, crazy, confrontational. I love a good conversation. I love people. Well, I shouldn't say I love people. I love some people.
You love people. You don't want
I love people. Them. Yes. Yeah. I love people in general.
I like you. I don't necessarily love you. I love you. I love you.
Yeah. I love people.
Bible says love.
I just don't like some people.
Yeah, there you go. You
there it is.
Like
right.
Some people. Pray for us.
Exactly. And so I think that all of me, I'm now becoming okay with all of me. Not necessarily
all of me loves all of you. I don't sing, but every now and then I do that.
This dude is on 10 right now. Nope, it's not working.
Oh, snap, yo. The horn. Well, the people want to clap.
Okay. But I really think that see, now you made you messed me up, man.
Well, it's time to freestyle, right?
No, it's not time yet.
Oh.
Goodness grief. Pray for me, y'all. This dude sometimes be tripping. He's talking about he's not confrontational. Listen.
Oh, brother. Look who's who's here.
No, I'm seeing Jamie Callister. Yes, he said, "Oh, brother, look who's here." Hey, Joe! Shout out to Joanna.
The internet just started freezing up.
That's my girl. Leave her alone. Okay, so anyway, what I was saying is, this unearthing of, I feel like it's still the same Carlene, but just in a better form.
Mm-hmm.
And we just wanted to get on here to just kind of share that with you guys, and in hopes that there is just at least one woman out there who can identify with what we've shared in this broadcast and decide today, right now, to choose her. I had to choose me. Mm-hmm. Yes, being married, it feels like you're choosing everybody else but yourself. But I had to be okay with choosing me and not be feeling guilty about it. Mm-hmm. And saying, it's okay if I choose me today. If I choose to do what I want to do. If I choose to not cook. If I choose to not whatever. So I'm hoping and praying that that one woman, that one person feels encouraged to know that she's not by herself, to know that everything is going to be okay, but you need to go and book that appointment. Someone asked, again, how did I find my therapist? Essentially, it was via recommendation.
Yeah, but I think there's a website, right?
There are lots of websites, I think, whatever they are. I can't think of it, but there are. And I know it's really tedious. It's really hard to find the right fit, but you deserve to find the right fit. And I know it's I wish you can experience what I experienced, the seamlessness in finding a therapist. But I'm telling you, when you do, you're going to say to yourself, why did I not do this before? Because there's so much healing that takes place in that room. There's so much healing that takes place outside of that room, and so much healing that takes place in your home because of deciding to go to seek a therapist.
Yeah.
Yes, we are Christians. Yes, we believe in God. Oh, we do.
I thought somebody was questioning. I was about to go in. Like, no, yeah. No.
Psychology.com. Thank you guys.
And
Barbara, thank you.
OCBCF
has counseling
that's
clinic.
For those in the Dallas area. But
Psychology
if you're not in the Dallas area.
.com.
Yeah. So, I mean, just keep this in mind, right? Like, if we are always making sure that our physical body is well, then we need to make sure that our mental is well, too. Like, you can't ignore your head is attached to your body. So that has to be maintained, and that has to be taken care of.
Correct.
On a regular basis.
And it's almost like if you are, God forbid, if you have heart disease, God forbid, right? Mm-hmm. You're not going to stay home and pray and say, God, please heal me of this heart disease.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we believe that God is able to do abundantly above all that we can think or ask. Yes, he can do that. But that's why God gave doctors brains to be able to know how the body works and to help you heal and get better. It's the very same with your brain. And for me, I decided, so I spoke with a psychologist, and the psychologist, that psychologist, first of all, she was a sister, and homegirl was like, I felt like I was talking to like the homie. Yeah, man, she was dope. She was just like talking to me like we were friends for a very long time. But I spoke to, okay. All right. That's you overdoing it.
I get distracted.
Because I stop getting distracted. But because you distract me.
Sorry.
Appreciate it. So she was like, basically she gave me an option. And this is like amazing. She said I could go the health route, doing like a natural route, or doing an actual medication for anxiety. I forgot what you call it. What do they call it? The anxiety medication. Somebody knows. See?
Percocet?
No,
Prozac?
Percocet. Sorry, I shouldn't respond that way.
That's right.
Some people do need that to
I'm trying to
balance
help.
themselves.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, no, isn't that Percocet? It's for pain, right? It's for pain.
Molly's. I just hear about these things when I go in the car because sometimes Carlene leaves the radio station on some
This dude be lying.
questionable stations, and while I'm driving,
This dude be lying.
I'm like, what is she listening to?
Yo, pray for him, yo.
I hear these rappers
He be
talking
lying.
about
Oh my gosh.
Percocet and popping Molly's and all this silly dilly stuff. So
Xanax.
Xanax.
Thank you. Or anti-anxiety. See, yo,
Yes.
you guys are amazing.
What's the song you like about sipping scissor? That's a drug, right?
I don't even know what you're talking about. Anyway, antidepressants, yes. Those are all the different options that she gave me to do, because, of course, they ask you if you are suicidal, if you're feeling all these things, and I'm not feeling that. But I did opt to take the natural route. And so I'm taking a natural medication. And man, it's definitely, I feel like I'm able to process better. I'm able to focus on something specific longer, opposed to my brain is literally like it's like this, where I'm thinking about everything at one time and over processing everything at one time. And so my brain sometimes is super, super, whatever. But that the medication definitely helps to whatever. Also, not only that, but exercise. That's important. Exercising, eating healthy also contributes to a better mental health outcome. Taking some time for self-care. I realized that when I got up early to exercise, eating better, I feel better. And so I am blessed to be able to be on this side of it. And I'm just so grateful and thankful for the support of Jamie and family and friends. Because he's always been like ride or die, like whatever it is that you need is whatever you need, do it. Like he's never been discouraging or made me feel as though something was wrong with me, right? He almost always made me feel like
I'm a helpmeet. Only pastors will laugh at that joke.
Yeah, I'm not a pastor and I'm not laughing.
It's a biblical joke. That's what it is. A helpmeet.
No one's laughing either.
No one's laughing. The laughs will come in soon. Trust me.
They're lying. No,
Horns.
no horns.
Horns.
No,
Horns.
that was not horn worthy.
Horns. The fist, the black fist, the Wakanda fist is going to horns. I think the people want me to rap. I think that's
Yes,
what, yo.
Sister Pattyfoot, I can I can definitely inbox you on what that is.
Yeah, would you be okay if folks that are watching, for them to like send you a message, for you to like maybe talk a little bit more with them, help guide them, like just to
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm here for it. As I said, that one person helped me eat.
I know that's right.
Not
Sister
help me
Carter.
eat, Auntie Norma,
Help
Mom.
me eat. I'm trying to get that chicken dinner.
Okay.
I'm ready to rap.
Y'all
man.
pray for me.
I feel the rhymes.
Should I move out of the frame and let you just have this moment?
Nah, you need to be here because you gotta. I want you to start being able to. I want the blessings to fall on you, the rap blessings, so that you can start freestyling and that you can be empowered to have your own bars and not live.
I don't need to rap in order to feel empowered.
No, I want you to get your own stage. You know what I'm saying? So
I just had my own stage. I just shared my story.
No. So you got to understand. It's like this, right? It's like you the hype woman right now. So I'm trying to get.
I'm not trying to be.
I'm trying to get you put on so that you can have 71 people watching you freestyle, because the people are here because they want to hear me freestyle. So I want you to get your own fans. All right, basically.
I don't want rapping fans. I'm good.
They're the best fans in the world. 71 people. I love you. It's your boy Jamie K. Yo, the people are clapping.
Let me move out of this frame.
The
Give
people
him
are
all
clapping.
The space he needs.
They want the horns. They want the horns. They want the horns. Let me get the horns one more time. Oh, you see, Mr. Mr. Fantastic want the rap battle.
You're not serious. Because you know that I'm going to smoke him.
Oh.
Y'all don't want none of this.
Oh, word.
What?
Something just went off on my brain.
What?
You want to have a battle? Or y'all want the battle next week? All right. You sleeping. You slipping.
Mic drop.
Yeah. You sleeping. You slipping. You tripping.
Oh, you rapping for now?
I'm rapping right now.
Right now?
Right now.
Like right now?
I can't rap unless I have the horns.
Okay, let me sit back.
You sleeping. You slipping. You tripping. You like a leaky faucet. I guess you was dripping. But we got to go get the belt. Ain't gonna be no whippings. But we want to know if we could tie this together. Tougher than leather. Go through any weather. We were talking about how we can have mental health so we could be better. Keep it tight knit like a sweater. I don't want to blow away like a feather. Oh man, I knew this girl. Yeah, guess what? I met her. And then I tried to wed her. And she's sitting right next to me. She makes me look better. Yo, y'all like how the flow is going. Everybody's knowing, we're showing. Talking about mental health, B. Better get that therapy, if you know what I mean. C plus J, that's what we say every day. I got different styles that I be flowing with. Y'all already know what I'm going with. It's your boy Jamie K. Peace. Stay lit.
Okay.
Yo, the bars are getting hotter and hotter every week.
You know what?
Y'all already know what time it is. If you want more, yo, the mixtape is coming out soon. This is Carlene and Jaime. Next week we're gonna have the battle.
You know what?
I'm gonna eat her alive.
I'm gonna give. What did the someone says horns.
Horns. Who wants those horns?
You know what? As in Guyana.
Straight fire.
In Guyana, it says. In Guyana, they say give Jackie jacket. Basically means give him his credit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you your credit for that one.
Give Jamie a Gucci jacket.
Can you just let me give you the credit?
All right.
Oh my gosh. I'll give you the credit for that one. That was the better. So I give it to him.
Every day.
Excuse me. Jamie won. Me?
That's right.
God, it's time to go. It's time to go. You guys are not on my side. And it feels like all the guys. What's up with that?
Nah, look at Damaris. Shout out to Damaris. Wow. Face with stars in it. Bars with a Z. Shout out to Damaris. Rochelle and Kumba. Shout out to Rochelle. Fire, fire, fire. Lit, lit, lit. Hot, hot, hot. I'm going to read the emojis. Ashley Jewell. Horn, 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 horn. Let's look at my man Steven Sr. Othniel. Check him out. Boom, bang, connect. Fire, 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 fire. Black Fist Love, Jamaica.
Are you serious?
Yo, next week I'll probably rap in patois. Y'all like that?
You can't rap in patois?
Yo, fire bun on a man that tried to make me and take away my hot buns. Alright, yo, come on, yo.
What?
Yo, we gotta go, man. We gotta go. We love you.
Yeah.
Please share this. Please continue to like it. It'll be great. Go to our YouTube page. We got lots of great content there. I'm doing like multiple shows
today. Yeah.
Today I got two really dope dudes with my co-host, McDonald Jean. So that's gonna be lit. We're talking about Kamala Harris and the VP, the soon-to-be VP of the United States of America. So it's going to be lit. And we're going to be back next week with another hot topic. We love you. We appreciate you. And seek that help.
Yes.
Seek it. Do it for yourself.
Above all things, if you just scroll through, just go right to the part where I said, go get help.
That's right.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it for yourself and do it for your family and your village, whoever your village is. Do it for them. They deserve the best of you.
That's right.
Okay? We love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. Real talk, we really appreciate it. And we just hope that, we don't know what this is going to be or what this is right now, but I just feel as though the space is needed. Even not for you guys, for me, for us. And so we just hope that you guys continue to support. So this is Carlene, right? I'm putting my name first. You guys hear that? Carlene plus
Jamie.
Jamie.
And we out. Dance to the intro music. All right, here we go.